Hello and welcome to another live English lesson here with AM Language. Welcome to today's lesson. I'm Richie and it is a Friday. I don't know any good song with Friday. I know one song that has Friday in it, and it's probably the worst song ever created. And no one should ever sing it. Anyway, Roberto, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on negotiation language. So it's an important lesson. It's actually what you would call English for work or business English. The Cure, Friday, I'll Be in Love. I don't know that song. I'll have to look it up, Roberto. So yes, today it's going to be about negotiation language. And we're going to try and develop our ability to use persuasive language as well. Arena F says hello. Hello, Arena F. Good afternoon. Welcome to the lesson. Privyet. As always, guys, please make sure that you like and like the video. And if you are new, subscribe to the channel. In the live chat, that is where the action happens. So make sure you follow every lesson in the live chat, whether you watch live or later. And there's always going to be something for you guys to learn. Alida, good afternoon. Buenos dias. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope you're doing well. Where I am in the world, it's a nice day-ish. It's a bit cold, but other than that, it's not too bad. So, negotiation language, that's going to be our focus today. And it's worth mentioning that, Alida says that today you expect 43 degrees. It is your summer, so I'm guessing you're talking about 43 degrees. Are you talking in Celsius? If you are, that's really hot. If it's Celsius. I'm guessing you're talking in Celsius. That's really hot. 43 degrees. Whoa. I remember when I was there in Argentina last year. Not last year, the year before. Technically, in 2019. Whoa! In the summer, man, I remember at one point it was like hitting 40 degrees or something. Ooh, gosh, it was hot. So yeah, look, negotiation language, persuasive language. This is something you would definitely learn if you were to go on a business English course, an English for work course. It's language that isn't restricted to just business. It's really, in any sort of working profession. But it's often used in business scenarios. Leondina says, hi, Richard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Leondina. Welcome to today's lesson. Buon pomeriggio. And Evelina, good afternoon as well. Welcome to today's language. Now, the thing about when we're looking at persuasive language, when we're negotiating, there's a few things we need to consider. When I say the word consider, by the way, I like to use this word a lot, but I know not everybody might know it. Okay. Think about. Okay. So there's some things we need to consider. There are some things we need to think about. This is the same word, really, same meaning. And that is the way we say it, okay, the meaning with our voices. So I'm going to give you an example to begin with. Let's go with something like, okay, let's go with this. let's say we want to say a sentence like this, okay? You can't bargain with him. He's very inflexible. Two really strong um, bits of language here. The first thing is bargain, okay? Now, in case you're wondering, bargain is another word for negotiate, okay? It's another word for negotiate. Inflexible is really quite a strong bit of language as well. Inflexible meaning doesn't move, doesn't change his mind. Okay. And that's a strong bit of language. You've got bargain, you've got inflexible. And, if someone says, you can't bargain with him, he's very inflexible, we have to think of what we want to do with our voice. We want to be persuasive, but we don't want to be rude. How do we do it? Well, the thing that we need to think about here is something called emphasis stress. Okay. Now, there's lots of different forms of stress in English when we're speaking, but emphasis stress is really important. We're moving our normal stress to stressing the word that we think is going to be the most important. Now, maybe inflexible is the most important word, but maybe you've changed your mind. Maybe inflexible is not. Maybe you want to stress that you can't bargain. Therefore, you stress bargain. So, as we develop our language today, I'd like you just to think about the importance of emphasis stress. Which word is the word that you are going to stress, that you need to stress in order for the other person to understand? And that's why emphasis is important. You choose to stress most important word for in order for the other person to understand. That is the point behind emphasis stress. So this is going to come up and it's going to be important. So now it might not always be a specific word. It could be a chunk of language. Okay, so let's go through this one here. Let's go through this. Okay, so I'm going to give you another example and we'll see what you guys have to say. Okay, so in this case, you've got this sentence here. The bottom line is that we cannot raise both salaries and bonuses. Salaries is obviously what people are paid. Bonuses is extra money for doing well. Now, there are some things that we need to think about, okay? So let's look at the most important language. You've got bottom line. Now, bottom line is the main point, okay? B, you've got salaries, what people are paid. And C, you've got bonuses, is extra pay. Now, what do you think is going to be the main word or main words in this? A, B, or C? Where is the emphasis stress? Should it be on A, B, or C? So if it's A, it would be the bottom line is that we cannot raise both salaries and bonuses. If the emphasis stress is on salaries, then it would be the bottom line is that we can't raise both salaries and bonuses. Or finally, if it's C, it's the bottom line is that we cannot raise both salaries and bonuses. Now, all of you are saying A, and A is correct. because that has the biggest amount of meaning. It's your main point. You're highlighting your main point. The bottom line is this. You're emphasizing that what you're about to say is your main point, but you want to make sure the other people hear it. I stress the word both as well. Yes, Roberto. Now, this is the other thing with emphasis stress. Sometimes you might think that in a longer sentence, you need to stress more than one thing. So if you are going to stress both, then you could end up doing this. You could say the bottom line is that we cannot raise both salaries and bonuses, and that would work as well. Emphasis stress can be moved. You can add two. You've got some room to move here. Okay, so well done. We are now off to a good start. So now let's look at some persuasive language. And I'm going to make you guys think in terms of what is the goal behind using this language. So let's have a little look, okay? See. See. And let's go with two more. And finally, F. Okay, so you got A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, I'm going to put some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys need to try and link A, B, C, D, E, and F to the most appropriate meanings. Okay? 1. 2. and 3. Okay, so you got 1, 2, and 3. So you've got A, B, C, D, E, and F, and then you need to link them to 1, 2, 3. So just remind you, you've got don't you agree that, or I see your point, but to be honest, you've got that might be true, but I strongly feel. E, personally, I believe, and F, I really think we ought to. If you think one of them, in some cases, if you think one of them might be a little bit of both, maybe. I mean, I think there is only one over here that might be a little bit of a combination of both, but those are the standard three things that we can look at. So let's see what you're going to go with. And then we can have a little look at the pronunciation in terms of the emphasis stress, how we go about using these, because it can be tricky, it can be difficult. There's the right way and the wrong way of going about it. So you've got, don't you think it would be better? Or don't you agree that, I see your point, but to be honest, that might be true, but I strongly feel. Personally, I believe, and F, I really think we ought to. Now, don't forget, ought to has the same meaning as should. Let's see what you guys go with. The Indiana says 1 goes with E and C, 2 goes with D and F, and 3 goes with A and B. Well, if you agree with Lee and Dina, let me know in the live chat section by telling me that you agree with Lee and Dina. Roberto says A goes with 3, B goes with 1, C goes with 3, D goes with 2, E goes with 2, and F goes with 2. Alida says 1 goes with D and E, 2 goes with F and E, and 3 goes with A, B, C. Okay, so some different answers here between you guys. But we can see what the correct answer is. So 1 answers. So number 1, we've got telling someone how you feel about something. Well, we have to look for certain words. Now you've got personally, I believe, and feel, and in E you've got personally, I believe, sorry, and D, so you've got that might be true, but I feel strongly. Okay, so for number 1, we can definitely go with D and D and E. Okay, so D and E. Number 2, okay. Thank you very much for your answers, Evelina. Okay. 3, so A goes with 3, B goes with 1, C goes with 3. Okay, we'll see if you're right, Evelina. Number 2, to say what you think. Well, in this case, you're going to have F and, okay, all of them to an extent, but you're focusing on the main thing, that you're telling someone what you think. Primarily 2 goes with F, and then 3, you've got A, B, and C. Now, I should say that, what did I do? Yes. Now, the reason being is this. You're trying to get someone, don't forget, 3, you make the person rethink their argument. Now, the reason why C, B, and D fit that category is this. If you start your phrase with, don't you think it would be better, or don't you agree that, you are using this language because you're trying to make an argument that something about their argument might not be very good. And in C, this is a particularly interesting one, because in C, you're saying, first of all, I see your point, which means I understand. If you say you see a point, it means you understand. But to be honest, and then you go in with the other element. to make a person rethink their argument. And yeah, sure, you are giving an opinion at the end of the day. But to make sure that they fit each of these categories, that's how we can divide them. So 1 goes with D and E, 2 goes with F, and 3 goes with A, B, and C. So we all got a little bit close there, but well done. So, intonation. Where's the syllable? Where's the emphasis stress? Okay. So let's have a little look at 1 or 2 things. We're going to start off by looking at A. Okay. The question is, where is the emphasis stress? Okay. Just within this phrase. Don't you think it would be better? Don't you think it would be better? Don't you think it would be better? Now, if you think you're hearing 2, tell me which 2 you hear. If you just hear 1, let me know which one you think. Okay. Don't you think? Yeah, this is an interesting one. Better, yeah. So in A, this is quite interesting because normally, you've got don't. It's not all, most of the time, it's not going to be the main one that you stress. But the 2 that you're going to stress are going to be don't and better. Okay, these will be the main 2. I mean, don't is quite important because you're saying, don't you think? Don't you think? You're emphasizing that they need to rethink. That's the point. And it's the same with B as well. Okay, let's look at one slightly different. Let's go with D. Okay, so D, that, that might be true, but I feel strongly. That might be true, but I feel strongly. That might be true, but I feel strongly. So which one or which 2 do you feel? Might strongly, might strongly. Excellent. Well done. Now let's do one more. And this time I'm not going to say, I'm going to see what you guys think. I'm going to go with this one. Let's see what you guys say. Come on, copy. There we go. Okay, guys, you tell me where you think you would put the emphasis stress. On one hand, you could go with, but this is an interesting one. I mean, you've got potentially 2, but, the first part, I see your point. But to be honest, where do you think the stress is going to go? Now, don't forget, if you say, I see your point, you're saying that you understand the other person's argument. Okay, so leader says, but, okay, if that was the case, it would sound, I see your point, but, to be honest, so it is possible, but when we emphasize something like a word but, we are breaking up the fluency. Roberto says, I see and but. Okay, that would sound like, I see your point, but to be honest, Leondina says C and B. Okay, I see your point of view, but to be honest, no, we're not going to go with B. B doesn't have enough meaning in this sense. The answer is as follows. Okay, I'm glad that you guys put down C because C is definitely going to be there. So I see your point, but to be honest, honest is going to be your main second one. You're emphasizing you're going to give your honest opinion. And there you go. So that's what we have over there. Now, let's look at some other examples here. Okay, so let's go with this. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples, and let's see if you guys can link them to the correct answers, okay? So we're going to start again. This time we're going to go with one. And one more. Okay, I'm going to give you some example sentences as well to see how these are used. Okay, so let's go with the meanings here. Two. And three. What do you guys think? You've got one, to reach a consensus. To reach a consensus. Consensus. The stress there is on the sen. Consensus. Two, a counter proposal. And three, something called leverage. Your examples here are, am I right to think we have reached a consensus? Let us state what our counter proposal is. And we have some good leverage, which means they will have to listen to us. The options, one, something very attractive that is important to the person or group who you are negotiating with. Two, when two people or groups reach an agreement. And finally, three, to give an alternative or different offer. Alida says leverage is two, to reach an agreement is three, and no, sorry, one is leverage, two is a consensus, and three is a counter proposal. And Leondina agrees with Alida. Well, if you agree with Alida, let me know in the live chat section. If you have a different answer, also please let me know. I mean, this language here is a little bit difficult. I do not expect someone of an elementary level to be able to use this. This definitely is the sort of language, though, that you would expect to learn easily once you are intermediate, because this is going to be important. This is the sort of language that is used. Evelina, thank you for your answer, and I'm glad to see you agree with Alida. Okay, so answers. Roberto also agrees. Okay, well, you all seem to be on the same page. I'm going to say this. Arena F as well agrees. Okay. Well, look, number one is something very important and attractive that is, important when negotiating with another person or group. And yeah, the answer is going to be leverage. Number two, when two people or groups reach an agreement, yes, that is what you would call when you reach a consensus. So well done for getting that one right, because that can be a little difficult, which means obviously number three is a counter proposal. So well done to all of you guys for getting that one right. Okay, so let's remind ourselves what we've looked at today, because I now want to go into a little activity where you guys have to choose the options in order to complete the conversation, really. So obviously we've got leverage, reach a consensus, counter proposal. We've got bargain, bottom lines. You also have phrases like, don't you think that, don't you agree? I see your point, but to be honest, and we've got, let's go with one more. Okay, let's see how you guys get on. I'm going to write incomplete sentences, and you need to choose one of the options above that we have looked at. So let's go for it. A. So person A. So we're always going to look at the response. Person A. Okay, so that's number one. We'll do two at a time. Actually, I should put number one there, shouldn't I? Otherwise, that's not going to make sense. So let me just post that again. Okay. And number two. Okay, let's see how you guys get on there. Do we go for one more? Yeah, we'll go for one more. Okay, guys, let's see how you guys get on. In some cases, there might be more than one correct answer. So let's see what you go with. One, you got person A. I think raising prices would be a good idea. Person B, better off lowering the prices because blah blah blah. Let's see what you guys put there. Two, we need some to make them want to talk to us, but we need to with them because the price is too high. And three, am I right in thinking we have if we all agree, we can then move on and that we need to something something. Okay, so let's see what you guys go for. I mean, look, it's this is really good language to learn. It's good to know. It can be a little bit difficult to actually use, and that's where the difficulty comes in. But let's see what you guys go with questions one, two, and three. Maybe some of you come up with really interesting ideas. Like I said, in some cases, there might be more than one correct answer. Alina says, one, don't you think it would be better? Two, leverage and reach a consensus. And three, reach consensus and bargain. Okay, right. Well, we'll see if you go, if, well, Alida, we'll see if you are correct. Okay, thank you very much, Alida. If you agree with the leader, let me know in the live chat. You can just say, I agree with the leader. If you have different answers, let me know what your answers are. Maybe you're correct for disagreeing with the leader. Let's see what you go with. And then obviously after this will then take us to the end of the lesson today. Don't forget, guys, I'll be back next week, 3 o'clock, with more live lessons. And if there's anything that you want me specifically to look at, you are welcome to let me know. I'll give everyone just another minute to let me know what their answers are. Leondina says, she says, don't you think it would be okay, two, leverage and bargain, and three, reach the consensus and bargain. Okay, well done. Leondina, good answer. Slightly different from Alida. Roberta says, don't you think it would be better? 2, we need some leverage, but we need to reach a consensus. And 3, we have reached the consensus and bargain. Okay, some really good attempts, some good answers. Potentially some of them might work, but here are the correct answers. Number 1, okay. Don't you think it would be better? And number 2, person B. Yeah, sorry, that is number 1. Number 2, we've got bargain goes in number 2. And number 3, and the answer to number 3. So well done, guys, there. Good stuff. So those are the answers. Some of you got really close to getting all of them right. So well done to you guys for doing so. And that brings us to the end of our negotiation lesson. So once again, thank you very much for you joining me and for your participation, Roberto, Leondina, Alida, Irina F, Evelina. Thank you so much for your contributions today. Roberto as well, you too. Thank you very much. If I haven't said so, Leondina. Excellent. Thank you very much. And enjoy your weekend. Thank you for your participation. Leondina says, thank you, Richard. It has been a fruitful week. As usual, enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Leondina, and you too. Roberto says, thank you, Richie. Have a great weekend. Take care. You too, Roberto. Thank you. You too, Evelina. Thank you. You too, Alida. Alida, thank you very much. And Irina, thank you very much. Interesting lesson. Have a wonderful weekend. You too, Irina F. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. I'll be back next week, same time, 3 o'clock, with more live English lessons. Take care, and see you next week. And bye for now.